So you're thinking about moving to Denton, Texas, and you've got a couple of questions. First of all, is it way too far away from Dallas or even Fort Worth? However, though, if you're going to be going to college up there, then it's going to be a much better option than living in Dallas. So that's exactly what we're going to get into in this video. Is we're going to take you around Denton on the Google map and show you everything you need to know, kind of the proximity to the airport, Dallas, Fort Worth. It's a pretty well-known college town and a couple of good colleges there. So we'll talk about those as well. So if you want to know everything you need to know about Denton before making that move, we're going to get into it right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about living in Dallas, Texas and the surrounding areas like Denton, then subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market here in Dallas. My name is Levi, my partner Travis, the team and I, we get calls, texts, emails every single day from people just like you, and you, looking to make their move to Dallas, and we love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. Happy to help you make that smooth move to Dallas. So as I mentioned, we're talking about Denton, Texas today, and let's not wait around any longer. Let's jump into the Google Maps so we can take a look and show you around. So you can see here, let me just pull up the old trusty drawing tool. You can see you got Denton way up here, right? Of course, you've got Dallas on the southeast side, Fort Worth on the southwest side. This is the thing, is I-35, this is what a lot of people don't know, is I-35 runs from South Texas all the way up, goes pretty far north. Actually, I've never even looked to see where it starts. Maybe it goes to Canada. But what the funny thing is that it splits off. And this is what confuses a lot of people whenever they're coming into Dallas or traveling. And we've known people that have gotten thrown off a track because they've chosen the wrong 35. So if you're coming south into Dallas or north into Dallas-Fort Worth, I should say Dallas-Fort Worth, what happens in Denton right here is 35 splits, and it splits off of 35W and 35E, of course 35 east and 35 west. And 35W will take you all the way down straight through Fort Worth. 35E will take you all the way down to downtown Dallas. Then what you'll see is they will merge again and then head south. So you come back, once you get through Dallas, you can see, oh, I didn't even scroll out far enough, but you see 35W comes all the way down through this way. Dallas 35E, so we'll clear out of there a little bit more, and you see where it merges right above Hillsboro. So again, 35 west merges right there, 35E comes in there, and you can see what happens is they merge right in the middle of Denton as well, and then head north, and you can see 35 west goes through Waco and all the way down through Austin and San Antonio, and then of course ends on the Mexican border there. And just now, out of curiosity, let's see how far north does 35 go. Let's see, it goes to Wichita, Kansas, and it looks like it can keep going. Let's see, it goes up to Iowa, all the way up, okay, Minneapolis. So again, yeah, all the way up to Duluth. Is that the final resting place? It looks like that is. So right there in Duluth, Minnesota, right there on the border of Wisconsin and Minnesota. So it looks like that's where 35 ends. Interesting. I've never even checked to see where that actually ends at. So, and then all the way down here to Mexico. So that should be a fun road trip, I would say, at one point. But anyways, all right, let's get back to Denton. So go back here on the map. You can see here north of Dallas. Let's look at, just to give you exact measurements and directions, let's say Dallas. So if we go Denton to Dallas, it's about right at 41 miles, 40 minutes. That's a great day with zero traffic at all whatsoever. It was funny, I was driving yesterday doing the vlog tour of Denton. You should definitely check it out. The other side of the highway completely shut down, so that would extend it out. Now that doesn't happen very often, but again, you want to account for traffic. So I would say on a given day, now it took me about 55 minutes coming from Dallas to get up to Denton, and there really wasn't that much traffic. There's a little bit of a slowdown kind of leaving Dallas around this area around American Airlines Center, where there was likely an event going on. So that's just something to keep in mind. But otherwise, you've got a pretty clear shot all the way up to Denton. Now, let's see the proximity. So about 40 miles there. Let's see the proximity to Fort Worth. And that's going to give you right at 40 miles or 37.9 miles, still counting for about 40 minutes. But again, The time that it takes you to get down there is going to completely depend on traffic. I would say any given day, probably add an extra 30 minutes if you're commuting. Now, if you're commuting to downtown Fort Worth or Dallas, absolutely give yourself an extra 30 minutes or so. So that would be something to keep in mind. Now, at the same time, there's quite a bit going on in Denton itself. Hopefully if you're up there, you don't have to commute, but you think about the colleges. We talked about University of North Texas, and Texas Women's College is up there. And we'll start with those. You can see UNT right there and Texas Women's University right here. And you've got the main hub of Denton right in the middle, and what we like to call the Culture Center or the Arts District or the Cultural Hub, whatever it is you want to call it. But right smack dab here in the middle, you'll see this concentration of yellow. This is where we take you downtown on the vlog tour. You got the courthouse right smack dab in the middle. Beautiful historic courthouse, and then everything around here, you got shops, restaurants, bars, everything you need going on as far as you got it all right there. I mean, boutique shops, ice cream shops, the rooftop bars. We kind of showed you a little bit of all of that. Rooster's Roadhouse, you got Harvest House, you've got East Side Denton, just to name a few, 940's Kitchen and Cocktails. You got Hanabi Ramen right there as well. So definitely a great mixture of everything you need, walkable, great opportunity to stay out there with the kids, hang out for the day. There's plenty to do to keep you busy. And this is the other thing I kind of like about downtown Denton. All the streets named after trees. All right, so you can see mulberry, hickory, oak, elm, cedar. So a lot of the streets around there named after trees. Now you're going to come over here. Oops, let's clear off of there. And you've got University of North Texas right there. Huge university, football program, sports, everything you need right there. You can see how extensive this is. Takes up quite a bit. Even over on this side, on the other side of 35. So you got the stadium over here. It's pretty extensive is what I can say. But if you're going to be around the Denton area, you can see a lot of this is residential throughout here, all this residential, but you're going to find a lot of apartments, a lot of older historic homes, and really nice historic homes. Then you're also going to find a lot of ranch style homes, and kind of like reminds me of what I grew up around in Stephenville, Texas at the time. So that's something to keep in mind here. Now you've got another batch of commercial up here next to Texas Women's University, and you can see, you got the rodeo right there, but you've got Kroger, you've got Walgreens, CVS, Movie Tavern. So this is going to be a little bit Whataburger. This is going to be more of your fast food and chain restaurants. A lot of that is going to be up in this area right there. So that's where you can get a lot of shopping done. Of course, still grab something to eat, but again, mostly going to be chain restaurants, fast food, that type of thing, as to where when you come down here to Denton, you're going to get your boutique shops, your boutique restaurant owners, your boutique bars, small business owners, locals. That's what I love about that. All in those historic buildings. Most of the buildings around the town square are historic, and they've been restored back to the period or remodeled. And that's what I really like, is those older homes that and older commercial buildings that are that way. We stopped into Oak Coffee. What was that called? West Oak Coffee Bar right there is where we stopped in and grabbed that nice Americano, which was a great way to beat the heat that day. You see, you've got quite a bit, even outside of that heavy yellowed area right there, even all around there. Just plenty to do, especially if you're going to school around in this area. You really got a tight-knit community right there on the inside of Denton. Now, here's the other thing, is you border Louisville Lake right here. As you can see, there's parks all along on this side of the area, but you can easily get over to Louisville Lake if you want to spend a day out on the lake, and that's always a great time. You're on the north side or the northwest side of the lake. I mean, Louisville Lake is huge. You can see here how extensive it is. So you can come through here. They've got a couple of jetties that you can cut through. Otherwise, you can hang out just in this top portion here. You can get down to, on the other side if you want to not cut through all that. And if you want to park down here, take your boats out, or come down here. I mean, there's lots to do. Marinas, taverns, all kinds of things along the lake, parks. Lots to do over in that area too. And you have new construction. So we take you to well, we didn't show you any new construction. We showed you some newer construction homes, but otherwise you're going to come outside of Denton if you're looking for some newer construction homes. Is going to be, you know, scattered out throughout the on the outskirts of Denton. There's a couple of little pockets in there, but not too much. Some people will even come to Aubrey. Now that's just like a small country commute. You definitely have a lot of new construction going on in Aubrey and Krugerville, all of this area. These are extremely small towns, which we got a vlog tour on Aubrey. And I don't think we've done a map tour, but there probably wouldn't be much to talk about. But we did a vlog tour on Aubrey. Not much going on there except for the new construction and like one little strip of some old historic areas down there. But you've got the Waterworks Park. If you want to have some fun, you got a little Denton Enterprise Airport, and that's something else we wanted to look at. So let's look at DFW Airport as well. Let's see, directions from Denton. Let's look at that. But otherwise, shouldn't be too bad. About 27 miles, about 30-minute commute right there. You can come down 35E and just kind of jump over to 121, and that'll get you over to the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. So that's something to keep in mind there. So if you're going to be traveling quite a bit or living up in Denton, if you stay there after college and then you're going to be commuting from there, then just something to keep in mind. You got about 30 minutes. But this is something that we talked about on the vlog tour. So if you go back and reference this, if you plan to go to college there, or your kids are going to college, or you are a college kid about to go there to Denton, something to keep in mind is, think about it. If you're going to be there the next 4 years, what does real estate typically do over a 4-year period? It appreciates. Likely, you look at real estate over any 4-year span, it's going to typically appreciate over that time. So you think about this, and we showed you in the vlog tour a couple of homes there. For instance, there was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home for less than $300,000. Now you buy that home, and even right now with the interest rates the way they are, then payment could be around $1,500, $1,600 a month. You could easily find 2 roommates that would want to stay there, because your typical apartment is probably going to be around $750, $800 a month, if not more. So you get them to pay $750 each, get 2 roommates, and guess what? They just paid for your mortgage, your taxes, your insurance, everything. You live there for free. That's what they like to call house hacking. And that's what I did whenever I first moved to Dallas back in the day when I got out of the military. I was not really good with my money at that time, and I was broke. But what I did, as soon as I rented a home, I found a roommate or 2 and was able to get them to pay a significant portion, if not all of it. At the time, I did have a 3-bedroom house, had them pay the rent themselves. Actually, it was about $750 was the rent for the whole house, believe that. And I got them to pay $300 each, so my rent was really $150 a month. But it was also a 1-bathroom house. Not that great for 3 guys, especially for 3 young guys in their 20s. And we didn't have a maid. Never even thought about that. So that was good times. Glad we're way past that now at this point. But that's what I would do. And if I was a parent sending my kid to school there, that's what I would consider. So either way, you either buy the home with your kid. This teaches them something about business, about investment, about real estate. But then you have an appreciating asset. Instead of just throwing away money on rent over the next 4 years, you buy a home and get somebody else to pay for that. And at the end of the 4 years, you make a decision. Either you continue to rent that out, in which you could easily do to other college kids there, or you sell it and probably, take home a good chunk of change at the end of that. So just something to keep in mind. And if you go with a bigger home, always look at the bedrooms and baths, but the bedrooms are the biggest part of what you can actually turn over on the rent, and therefore calculate. You can look at, there's several things you can look at online to determine what does a room rent out on a per month average basis around a college town like that. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So I would look at those factors and consider those if I was sending my kid there, or if I'm a kid, maybe even talk to my parents. Now, if you've got the money, absolutely, I think you should, invest in yourself and invest in some real estate. Could be one of the best things you do during college, especially gives you that leverage to have somebody else pay your mortgage. So that's a great way to get started in the business. But again, talk to a professional before making that decision. Not sure where you could find, I know exactly where you could find one, right? But that's just something to keep in mind. But again, whether you're trying to move in 9 days or 90 days, that's why we say give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, because we're happy to discuss any type of scenario through that with you. Right now, still a great time to buy. And we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown, although prices are getting mostly back to normal. We're not seeing huge decreases or drop in values or anything like that. We're seeing prices return to where they should be, but we are still seeing multiple offers on homes. So Dallas is an area that is continuing to grow. There is demand here. Several corporations are making their move here. Goldman Sachs, Caterpillar, just to name a few. Who is it? Oh, the Rock and XFL just announced their headquarters are going to be in Arlington, Texas. So again, you've got these major corporations continually moving here, and that doesn't seem to be a slowdown. They're getting out of these other high tax, non-business friendly states. And Texas loves small business. Texas loves tax incentives for them as well, and is a very freedom friendly type of environment. So this is where it's attracting a lot of people and corporations, and those corporations are bringing hundreds and thousands of people at one time. So we're seeing quite a bit of growth still happen. Yes, 30 offers on one home has kind of died down to about 5 to 8 right now, but there's still deals out there to be had, and ultimately you make your money when you buy, and that's something that we always look out for with our clients, is not to let them overpay. Now you may still overbid, but really we're kind of getting away from that right now too. We've secured several homes just in the past couple of weeks at list price, so that is definitely getting a lot simpler, I could say, at the time being. But again, still seeing multiple offers. It just really comes down to negotiating the deal, running the comps, not letting you overpay, making sure you don't pay too much on there. So all those things, a lot of factors to keep in play. So the main thing is just to give us a call so we can walk through all of that with you and help you determine if this is going to be the best time for you and your family to make a move. And ultimately, that's what we're here for. So, that's the case, then hey, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Happy to help you make that smooth move to Dallas. And until next time, well, we hope to show you around town.